On
Just a minute.
yeah,
Yeah, so
dashboard.
yeah, so there was one class for which they didn't create the class, but we last week we had 4 classes, right?
But we didn't do anything on Jira.
Yeah, so Jira today we are going to cover. There was one class which was not created, but we had taken the class. So that's why it's showing. I mean, we have not done this particular PPT, which is based on the Jira, but we had done the 17th class. Because see,
No,
till
it's not the number. When it says Jira completed, and Jira is totally new to me.
yes, Jira is not completed, so we are going to cover it today.
Okay.
Okay. So there is one class which is not created here, but I mean, we have done that. So basically after the class 16, which is properties in SOAP UI, we had one class which was on the REST services. So
Yeah,
we did,
that. Yeah.
yeah, because, but that class was not, created on that day. So what we did is we did it as part of the class 16 itself. So anyway, like we are going to cover the Jira part today in our 18th class. So that we are going to do today. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I will start screen sharing then. And okay, let's start then. So today we are going to learn about the Jira, which is widely used in the software industry, and Jira is a tool of Atlassian, and Jira is used as the project management tool because when people are using agile methodology as their development model, then Jira is a tool which supports the agile methodology of software development. So Jira is developed in a way such that it supports the agile method of software development. So anywhere if you see if they are using agile methodology, most probably they are going to use the tool which is Jira. So in Jira, it's used in different ways. So Jira is used as the defect management tool as well. Jira is used as a test management tool as well. And then finally, it is used as the project management tool as well. Okay. So today we are going to learn what is Jira, how to create the Jira issues, what are Jira uses. Then we are going to look at the Jira dashboard. We are going to look at the Jira software, and finally we are going to see what is burn down chart. I guess I have already shown you Jira, right? In our previous classes, like when we had written the test cases, then when we had gone through the defect life cycle or bug life cycle, then I have already shown you the Jira. So it should be, I mean, you should be familiar with it.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. Okay.
You have mentioned Jira, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. I have mentioned Jira and I have already like shown you how to, create those bugs in Jira.
No. No.
No.
Uh-uh. I
I
have the
remember.
notes. I have the notes with me.
I do remember that I had already shown you. If I go to Jira
Can
and
you
if I
tell me approximately which lesson then?
the lesson I need to because it was in the, yeah, I can show you, but it was mainly in the, so here I can clearly remember I had already shown you that from this create we can go to this like uh, select the issue type as bug and then provide all
Oh
these
no.
details.
Oh no. Sorry, no. Unless I am 100% forgetful, I don't remember this.
I had shown you. I mean, I am 100% sure I have shown you. Just
Maybe,
let me tell you which was that.
maybe.
This has to be this one, class
It's
11.
less than that.
Let me open the recordings.
Mhm. You said, yeah, lesson 11. Lesson 11 is configuration management. This
I think it should be then 12 because if I go to class 12,
you said this is what you said. Register on annotation, find out how it works. Jira work management is free. Email. That's what you said. Jira is the
yeah,
most commonly used tool, annotation software, but I did not, I mean, this was not described to me.
yeah. See, if you can see my screen, so this is how I showed you how to, get Jira, and then I remember I had shown you. Yeah, see this one. This one is Jira. So I had shown you how there are different things used there. Then see, this is the Jira example I had given you, how the test cases are written. And
So how will I learn if I just see a screen like this? How will I learn? I mean,
so then you have to do the hands-on, right? If you don't do the hands-on, then you won't be able to do it.
so
Because
can we do hands-on now?
how to write the test cases, right? Then uh, what are the things that are there in the bug? So you told that I had not shown you, but this is the thing. In the class, which class is this? This is I think 12th or
That is
13th.
lesson 12. Lesson
Yeah,
12, these, your words I've written exactly.
yeah. In the lesson 12th, I had already shown you, right, how to use the Jira. What are the different things that are in Jira, and how to raise the bugs. What are the different fields there that are there while you raise the bug. So I was just talking about this one, that I had already shown you how to use Jira and what are the things that we need to put when we raise the bug or while we write the test
Do you
cases.
think we can review this? Because a few sentences about Jira, or maybe, I mean, I am not able to come to your level of understanding this.
Hey, you can review. I mean, the recordings are there, right? So you can always review that. And today also we are going to talk about Jira. So today also we'll cover the things. Hello.
I don't.
Yeah. So
It's
today
just
also
it's just a
today.
passing by summary. I am a person with zero understanding. Zero understanding. So if it's just a run through and a commentary like this, I cannot just like that. When you are very, very highly qualified and I am a zero, I cannot understand. You just show me screens.
No, the first thing is Jira is a paid tool, right? So I mean, you can't do anything like this is an enterprise tool. So whatever I had also shown you, that is I should not have shown you because that is my company related thing. That is my personal job related thing. So the first thing is I shouldn't have shown you all these things because that was also not mentioned as part of the course. If you see, if you open the PPT of class 12, you won't get all these things there as well, right? If I open the class 12, you won't see any slide regarding the Jira and anything. There is nothing mentioned there. So I had shown you additionally all those things. So that's what I told you, that I had you already having some idea of Jira. That was I was telling you that although this was not covered earlier, but I had already shown you from my project. So you have some idea of Jira. And today we are going to cover all the topics of Jira. So that was I was telling you. And the rest of the thing, like whatever I'm showing you, that you need to do the hands-on. Then only you will get the understanding. Then if you have any query from there, come back to me, ask me those queries, and let me solve those. Right. Any queries?
I cannot do hands-on with minimal instructions. I'm not so intelligent, please.
Okay, so tell me, like last 2 weeks, we have covered the SOAP UI and all. So
Yeah,
what?
I did hands-on app when I got time at the weekend, because this is the work 5 minutes break and I start this class. So I took it as a project. I did it over the weekend and I said I can understand 1.5 of the 3 lessons, the last 3 when I
Yeah.
did hands-on. But Jira was a passing for you. I mean, you're giving me a summary. I am a zero learner. I don't know what is Jira. If it is a passing thing, I just read through it. I don't understand how to do hands-on just like that. So that's why it did not stay in my mind. But SOAP UI, I could not understand, but I went back and spent my time almost 6 hours trying to understand that 1.5 lessons, following your instructions. You said put the audio on and follow it, and I could get it 1.5, not the whole 3 lessons.
Okay, so
Not stay in my mind at all.
so did you go through the video and recording?
Of SOAP UI, yes, I did.
No, not SOAP UI, that class 11 and class 12.
Yeah, class 11, of course, I did that. I did not find any Jira in that. But when it was 12, it was like, these are the instructions I got from you for 12. You told about Jira work management. You said register on Alcalcian, find out how it works. Then you went on to traceability metrics and all that.
Okay, then you are telling that I had not shown you how to create the bug and all those things.
No, I don't know how to create the bug even now.
But I just shown you, right, in the video,
Obviously,
in the recording.
obviously, I did not understand.
Sorry.
Obviously, I did not understand. It's very obvious I did not understand.
So if you didn't understand, then why didn't you ask me in the next session?
Did we have a next session after that?
Yes, after the class 12, we had the class 13th, right? So if you had not understood in class 12, after that we had this 4 or 5 classes. So in those 4 or 5 classes, why didn't you ask me? Because every day in the beginning, I'm asking you, do you have any query or not? So if
Yeah, I
you
did
won't
not
ask
understand
me,
Jira. No, what I understand, if I don't understand, what I go to, I don't understand, I ask you. But if I don't understand,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're not understanding something, then if you won't ask me, how would I know that? That in the
see, if I
previous
think
class,
it is a doubt, I will ask you. It didn't even stay in my mind as a doubt. I didn't know this Jira is a big thing, and I did not understand that aspect of it.
okay, so what I am trying to tell you is that was not part of the course as well, but additionally I had shown you. That's why I told you that already we have seen how Jira looks like, right?
So maybe I didn't catch it. I don't know.
Okay, fine. Let's continue with today's class then, and then if you have any query, you can ask me. Okay, so these are the topics that we are going to cover today. We are going to see what is Jira, how to create those Jira issues, what are the Jira uses, Jira dashboard, Jira software, and finally the burn down chart.
And this is all for manual testing and automation, or just this tool?
This is for manual testing. This is for manual
Oh.
testing. So under Jira, we have several different things. The first one is the epic. So in the epic, what will the epic contain? So the epic will contain all the details of a feature that the team is going to develop. So it's a high level thing, you can say. And in the epic, it will contain all the details of a particular feature or a particular application specific details it will contain, that the team is going to work on for say 3 months or for 6 months. So in that way the epic is created. Now under the epic, that is divided in different stories. Okay, so suppose if we if there is a feature which will take around 6 months to be developed. Now you can't work on you know on a thing which will take 6 months, so you need to break down the thing so that you can divide it into parts and then you can work on that. So that's why the epic is divided into different stories, and then the stories are divided into different tasks, and then the tasks are divided into subtasks, and from the tasks you can have some bugs as well. So why is it divided into subtasks and tasks and stories? Because if you are working on a directly on an epic or on a story, so you can't track the things what you are doing on a regular basis, right? Because each story that will take uh, mostly like it will take somewhere around 2 to 4 weeks to get completed a story. So now if you are not breaking it into task or subtask, then for 2 weeks or for 3 weeks or 4 weeks you'll continue to work on that story, and it will be difficult for the management to track your work. Rather, if you break it into tasks and subtasks, so that each task should be completed within 1 week, or each subtask should be completed within 3 days or 4 days, then it will be better for you and the management to track how are you doing the analysis of tasks or analysis of those subtasks. Then how are you going to prioritize each task or each subtask, and then how are you going to estimate as well. Because in agile what we do, at the beginning we estimate that what are the different tasks or stories that you are going to work on a particular sprint, right? So each sprint is normally of 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. In different projects it's followed differently, but mostly in most of the projects you'll get that each sprint is of 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, at the beginning of the sprint, you will have the sprint planning meeting. And in the sprint planning meeting, you need to provide the estimation. So the first thing that you need to do is what are the different tasks or subtasks or stories that you are going to work on. And based on that, you need to provide some story points there, right? Do you remember what is story point? Or
No.
okay, so story point is basically uh, it's the weightage uh, of a story or of a task, that how
What do you mean
much.
by story?
Story is basically the epic where the feature related details are given. So that is divided into different stories. So if I give you an example, like suppose you need to develop say e-cart application, right? So in that, so that particular epic will have all the details, all the different features of that online shopping application. Now you can't directly start working on that epic. So that epic or that details of that online shopping application will have different features, right? So based on those different features, you can break down that particular epic into different stories. So maybe the first story would be for creating the login screen. The second story would be creating the search application for that online application. Third story will be giving you the product details. Fourth story will be say developing the say it could be like developing the checkout or cart application, and finally the order summary application. Now this is different stories. Now each story will have different tasks for developers and testers. So for developers, they will, create the tasks for, for the development. For the testers, they will create the tasks for, say, for writing the test cases, then for execution of the test cases, then, if some retesting is required for those. For the testers, there will be different tasks and subtasks under the same story. Is it clear? Are you able to understand?
Yeah, I understand it as parts of a project.
Sorry, your voice is not
I
clear.
understand that it is story is parts. I mean, the different stories are different parts of the same project, right?
Yes. So basically, Epic will have all the, feature related data, what the team is going to develop for next 3 or 6 months, and then it is divided into different stories according to the feature.
Mhm.
And then the story is divided into tasks and subtasks. And from the task, suppose you are doing some testing, right? So from that, if you are testing something, you can find some bugs. So the bugs will also be logged into Jira, and those will become as part of those tasks, because as part of the task you were doing the testing, and then from that testing you are finding some bug.
So the testers are involved only at the task level. From there they start.
No. The testers and developers both are involved. So suppose, as I told you right now, that this story, the first story, that can be related to, login screen or developing of the login feature. Now,
Mhm.
under that, there will be different tasks. So the developers will have their tasks as well. The testers will have their tasks as well. So what will the developers have? Developers will have, creating the wireframe, preparing the APIs, or, preparing the UI, developing the login screen. So all those things will be there as a task of developers. Now, as a task of testers, what will be there? The task of testers will be something like creating the test cases, creating the test data, then the test execution, test case execution. So all these different tasks and subtasks will have for the testers.
Okay.
Now, suppose you have a task which says the execution of test cases. So you are executing your test cases. And under that, while you are executing your test cases, you are finding some bugs. So then you will log the bugs as well in Jira. So that's why the bugs are coming under tasks.
Mhm.
It can come under subtask as well, right? Because you can have a sub. So basically, this is the breakdown of the entire work that is being displayed here. So under a epic, so the epic is broken down into different stories. Then the stories are broken down as tasks, and then the tasks are broken down as subtasks, so that you can have your task or subtask for each sprint. So you know what is sprint, right? Are you able to understand
Yeah,
that?
the division of work into small increments of 1 to 3 weeks.
Yes, correct. So that is the sprint. So in each sprint, you are going to take this story. So if a story is smaller in size, then you don't need to break it down as well. So you can see this particular story. So this is not broken down in any task or subtask. What's the reason? Because this story is a small
Small.
enough story.
Mhm.
So that's why you don't need to, break it down to different tasks and subtasks. You can directly work on that story itself.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
understood.
that's it. Depending on the volume of the story, it can get divided into task or subtask, or it might not. But
Mhm.
if you talk about the epic, it has to be broken down to stories. That is mandatory.
Mhm.
You can't directly work on an epic and create uh, log your work there under a epic. That is a big no. The epic has to be broken down into different stories. Then according to the volume of each story, it has to be broken down into task or subtask. So it might happen that you are directly working on a task, it is not broken down into subtasks. That's absolutely fine. If the task is not big enough and it can be completed within, say, 1 week, then you can directly work on a task. Similarly, if a story you can directly complete it within 1 week, then it's perfectly fine to work directly on that story, and you don't need to break it down into different tasks or subtasks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything, any query from this slide?
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay, fine. So what is Jira then? So Jira is a platform where you customize your business needs. So whatever your business needs are there, whatever you are developing, right? So accordingly, you can customize the software. Okay. Suppose in your project, you are going to follow that. We won't be creating subtasks, right? So that also you can customize so that you can't break the task into subtasks. So that customization is available in Jira. Okay. Sometimes in some of the projects or in some of the companies, apart from Epic, they have something called as initiative, right? So that is a more high level thing, right? So there will be an initiative, and then the initiative will be divided into some epics, and then those epics will be divided into some stories, right? So this is the customization that Jira provides. So initiative is just a term here, right? So suppose you want to name it something else, right? You want to create a layer where the more like the designing thing will be done. So then it will be divided into subdivided into some different level, and then it will be divided into stories. So this kind of levels, if you want to create in your project or in your organization, so Jira provides that user level customization. And obviously, like, you are not the one who is going to take the decision of these things. These are decided in the organization level or from the management level. So I'm just telling you, Jira provides you that flexibility to customize your business needs. Then Jira gives you provision to prioritize, track, report, and audit the issues as well. You can prioritize your work, you can track your work, and it provides you the reporting and the audit issues as well. Now, regarding this prioritization, I was telling you about the story points, right? So story points is basically you can assign the story points to tasks or your stories. Okay. So now what is the story point? Now, when you are going to estimate your task on the sprint planning meeting, which is occurred on the first day of the sprint. So there you need to first analyze that how complex is that particular story is. That is the first thing. And then how much time would you require to complete that task or subtask or story, right? Based on that, you need to provide a pointer to that particular story. Now, if a story is having 1 point, that means you should not take more than 1 to 2 days to complete that task or story. Okay. Now, what is the next story point? Next story point is 2. So basically, normally what is done is, do you know Fibonacci series? Okay,
No.
so Fibonacci series are numbers which starts from 0. Okay, so if I will just show you
What's it called?
Fibonacci series.
Mm.
It, it's a mathematical term. Okay, so what is done in the Fibonacci series is each number is the addition of last 2 numbers. Okay, so the first number is 1, the next number is 1, then the third number is 1 plus 1, that is 2. Okay, then the fourth number is 2 plus 1, that is 3. Then fifth number is 3 plus 2, that is 5. So the next number would be 5 plus 3. So each number is the summation of last 2 numbers. So if you take this 55, this is the addition of 34 and 21.
Okay.
Then 89 is 55 plus 34. In that way, Fibonacci series is created. So this is the series of these numbers. So now these digits are used while we do the estimation. There is a specific reason for that. But one thing that you need to remember is this Fibonacci series numbers are used to uh, give the estimation of the story points. Okay. Now, if you're giving one story point to a particular story, that means it shouldn't take more than 1 to 2 days to complete that particular story. Now, if you're giving the story point as 2, so that means it shouldn't take more than say 3 days. And that particular, if you're giving the story point as 1 or 2, then this particular story is not that complex. And it also depends on how many people are working on that particular story. If you are giving, so if you are working on your own on that particular story, and if you are giving the story point as say 1 or 2, that means it should be completed by 2 days. But if you are giving the story point as 2 and 3 people are going to work on that particular story, then it should be completed within 1 or 1.5 days. Okay, so in that way these things are, there is no written rule for that. Okay, but this is something that is relative. If you are giving the story point as 3 and suppose 2 people are working on that, so it should get completed within 3 to 4 days. If one person is working on that, then it should be completed within 1 week. If 3 or more people are working on that, then it should be completed within say 2 days or maximum 3 days. So there is no written rule, but this is kind of relative term, and this depends on how much work is there for that particular task or subtask or story, and what is the volume of work, what is the complexity of work. Okay, and then finally how many people are going to work on that particular story. So in that way the story points are assigned. So if I show you, these are the numbers that I'm having in my board, and see, these are the story points. This story had 3 story points. This story has
Can
3
you
story
explain?
points.
Can you explain that to me?
So these are the
What did
story
you?
points that I just told you. So this
Oh, okay.
particular story is a complex one. That's why it is having 5 story points.
5 story point. Okay.
Yeah. So on the first day of the sprint planning, your whole team needs to provide this story point as an estimation that how soon that particular task or that particular story can be completed.
Okay. So
And
it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork or individual.
it's a teamwork. It's the individual and teamwork. So if you are the only one who is going to work on that particular story, you need to provide your story point. If there is a team of 2 or 3, 4, 5, 10 members who are going to work on that particular story or task, then all the team members need to decide what will be the story point, and then it will be discussed in the sprint planning meeting, and then the story point will be provided to that particular story. Okay, so that is decided in the meeting. So it's individual and the team thing. So if the all the team members are going to work, or suppose you have the testing team member of say testing team of 6 members, but only 3 people are going to work on that particular story. So then those 3 people will have a discussion, and then they will decide the story points. And finally it will be the product owner or the scrum master who will assign that story point to that particular story. Okay. Then Jira gives the transparency for user story tracking and monitoring, right? Because you have the board there for this, for that sprint, and all the stories that all the development and testing team members has taken. So all those stories will be there. So you'll be know what the developers are doing, what the tester is doing, and then if the development is completed, then that particular story will come for testing in that board. So I think I had also shown you, if you remember, this particular board where the stories are there. Then if that story is the development story, it will come to the code review, then build and validation, then it will come for the QA. So this is the testing. So when a story is there in the awaiting QA and in QA, then you need to test that particular story, and when it is tested and nothing, no bug is there, you can move it to acceptance, and then it will be moved to done. Okay, so this is how you can track the progress, and you can monitor the progress as well. And finally, it helps the team to improve the quality by recording all tasks. So all the tasks, anything you are working in the team, so you will have a task for that. And then under that you can track that how many bugs you are getting. So all those bugs will be logged in Jira as well. So it will give you a overall metric of your testing and overall metric of the development of that particular feature or application. So thus it will help you to improve the quality as well. Okay, so Jira is an incident management tool used for project management, bug tracking, issue tracking, and workflow. So I think project management, bug tracking, issue tracking, these things I have already told you. Workflow is the thing what I had just shown you. The
How the work
movement
is
of
flowing from one department to the other.
yes. So, and then like from the management level as well, when all the stories under a epic has been moved to done, so that means the epic is ready to be moved, right? And once the epic is ready to be moved, suppose under a particular release there are 5 epics, so all the 5 epics are, when all those epics are moved to done, so that means the product is ready for delivery, right? So that's how the workflow is also managed in Jira. Then Jira is based on the following 3 concepts: project, issue, and workflow. So project is something like, and you will create a project, and under that project, all the all the different things will be created, like the epics, the user stories, then the tasks, the subtasks, the bugs, everything will be created under that particular project. Okay. Then there are issues. So issues can be, so this issue is not the bug actually. This issue is in your organization. You can have different incidents as well. Like you can have, the hardware issues, like the employees can face some issues on their laptop or their keyboard or mouse or monitor or anything. So they can also go there in Jira and log those issues, and there will be a incident management team will look into these issues and they will fix those. So those are the separate thing than bug. So bug is basically specifically to the software you are testing, and if you are facing some uh, differences between the actual and expected outcome, you will log the bug. So that is dedicated to the thing that your team is working, the development that you are doing. But issue is the incidents that are organization specific, right? Your system is not working and you need a different system, so you'll go and you will log an incident, and then the incident management team will look into that and they will provide you a new system. So all these organization specific things can be handled by Jira as well. And finally the workflow is there. Jira is a commercial tool and available as a trial version for a limited time. So this is a commercial tool. You need to purchase the tool to use it. Trial version is there, and you can use that trial version for a limited time. So that's what I guess I had also shown you on that day. If you go, you'll go to, you need to search it as Confluence, open Confluence, go inside Confluence, and there you will see Jira. So there are different tools Confluence has. Like Confluence has different type of tools. It provides a suite of tools, and Jira is one of them, right? So we have under the sorry, I searched with Confluence. It should not be Confluence. It should be Jira. So Atlassian is a company which provides all these tools, and Jira is one of them. Confluence is another kind of application or tool that they provide, and there it kind of wiki of things. You can provide your documentation and all the information in the form of different pages in Confluence. Jira is something where you create all this kind of epics and user stories and all these things. So this is the page of Jira. Just let us go through this one. Okay, so in Jira, it provides a free plan, and under the free plan you can have 10 user licenses. You will get the workflows and automation, out of the box roadmaps, integration with thousands of other tools it provides us. So what does it provide? It provides the board. I have already shown you the board. So there can be different type of board like Scrum board, Kanban board, and you can actually customize your board as well. So here if you'll see, there are only 4 columns: to do, in progress, in review, and done, right? But the board that I was showing you, there was awaiting QA, in QA, all those things are also there. So that the testing thing can also be tracked, right? So all these boards are customizable according to your project need. You can customize these things, and like, this is not the thing that you will do. No, this is done from the by the project managers or the product owner. So they will handle all these things. You will just use this thing. So this will be given to you. You are the one who is going to use that thing. From a tester level, you need to create those tasks or subtasks or stories, and then you need to create the bugs. So that is something that you will do. Okay, and you obviously you need to write the test cases and create the test cases as well. Execution on and all those things will be done by you as a tester there. But I'm just showing you what are the different features that Jira is having, that Jira is providing. Then we can have this roadmaps as well. So see, this is a epic, and under that epic, different user stories are created, right? And then you can see what is the progress, how many user stories are completed, how many things are in progress, what are the timeline of those. So if we are having an epic which has to be completed by July, so we can see what are the to do items, what are the in progress items, what are the closed items. And in this way we can actually track that how our development is moving ahead, and whether if we have any risk, and whether we are on time or it's going to be delayed. The release is going to be delayed for some for something. If we have any block thing, that will be shown here as well. So we can analyze why it is blocked, how much time it will be taking to get it unblocked, and if it's going to delay our release or not. So all these things can be tracked through this roadmap. Okay, so you can see we can track the big picture, get ahead of dependencies. You can actually track the dependencies as well. If something is blocked due to the uh, some other is a story, so what is the priority then, which one should we complete first. So all this planning and all these things can be done and tracked from this Jira. And again, I'm telling you that these are the things which are used by the high level management, the project managers, the product owners. We will be able to see all those things, but not in it, these things won't be in our scope. I mean, not something that we will track or we will do there. It's mostly the product owner or the project managers who are going to track all this. We are going to use mostly this board, where the things which are assigned to us, will work on that in the sprint, and then we'll move the things from one particular column to another column as we move forward. Okay, then we can get the reports as well. So in a sprint, like when the sprint completes, we can get the report that what are the things which we have completed, what are the things which were not completed. If those are not completed, why are those not completed? Apart from that, like if we are having the test cases, how many test cases are executed, how many test cases are left, how many test cases are blocked or failed due to the issues, then what are the number of issues you have logged. Issues means bug you have logged, how many bugs you have retested, how many bugs are closed. So all this report you can generate through Jira. Okay.
Mhm.
And finally, there is something called as burn down chart as well, which we are going to see in the next slides. Okay, so when we are in that slide, so there we are going to talk about burn down chart and what is that. This is the burn down chart. This is the last slide of today. So we are going to talk about that. Okay, so I was here. So mostly like if you will go through this particular page, you'll see whatever is mentioned in our today's slide. Everything is mentioned here. Okay, so uh, as I'm going through this particular page, so after that I'll go to this slide and you'll see mostly we have covered almost everything.
Mhm.
Okay, so this burn down chart I am going to talk in the last section of today. And finally, the automation. So this provides you the drag and drop automation. So you can drag and drop the things, the stories and all. Finally, auto assign issues. So you can so it's again, it is not you will be going these things, this will be done and at the project level, but this can be done. So if I give you an example of this, suppose whenever you are logging a bug, right? So whenever you are logging a bug, it will automatically get assigned to the, say, the development manager or development lead. That you can, it can be automatically done. So these are the rules or things that can be set up at the project level. But apart from that, you can also, if you know who is the developer who is going to fix that particular issue or bug, you can directly assign that bug to them as well. But if you don't know, suppose you don't know whom to assign, so it will automatically get assigned to the development manager or the development lead. So this kind of automation thing we can do. And then suppose once the things are getting closed or done, so you can have a, say, a communication channel, say Teams or Slack and all those things. So these things can be automatically published there as well, right? So if your team is using Slack or Teams for the communication purpose, or say sending the mails automatically whenever you are done with a particular user story, a mail will be sent to all the person who are there in the team. So all those things can be done. So these are the, this comes under this automation thing. Then this one, customize how your team's work flows. So this particular board you can customize. You can introduce new columns here as per your project requirement or as per your project workflow. Then you can track the progress. So I think we have already discussed all these things. And finally, all those like the test cases and bugs you can create here itself in Jira. So you don't need to, earlier what we used to do is we used to use the spreadsheets or Excel files or say Word files to keep track of all these bugs and test cases and the progress and all. But now from the Jira itself, we can get the reports and everything can be maintained in one tool, right? So we can keep every detail of a project centralized in real time. So up-to-date info can flow freely across people, teams, and tools. Everyone can come here and see what is the progress, how much work is done there, how much work is left, and so how much time will we need? Do we need to complete that particular story or complete that particular epic? Okay. So that is all that is given, the information that is given here. And if you go there, you can see different Jira products are available. You can go here. You can create your account for free using your Google account, or you can sign up here using your mail. So you'll get a free trial as well, and there you can create the projects. You can see how to create the bugs there. But when you are in a project, you will get the enterprise edition. There you can all the projects will be created. Your user ID will be created there, and directly you can go there and use the boards, and you can create your test cases. You can create your bugs and stories. All those things you can do. Okay. Now, if I come back to our slide, you'll see most of the things are already covered here. Okay, so if I go to the next slide, so Jira supports bug, issue, and change request tracking. Jira can also be used in help desk support and customer services to create tickets and track the resolution and status of the created tickets. So that's what I was telling you regarding the issues if you're facing with your laptop or say keyboard or anything. So you can create those tickets as well, and then track to whom this issue is assigned to, and what is the status and what comments they're providing. So if you'll go to a particular issue, you'll see uh, the comments. I mean, what are the comments? How the things are moving? How are the things are progressing? So all those things you can see from the comment section as well. Okay. Then Jira acts as a medium in project management, task tracking, and requirement management. And Jira mainly used for workflow and process management. So I think we have covered all these things. So what are the main features of Jira? Obviously, bugs and issue monitoring. In the project management, it will be used. Then task recording. So what is the meaning of task recording? So suppose in a sprint, you have taken 3 or 4 different tasks. So which task you are currently working on, how many hours you have spent on a particular task. So all these things can be tracked under a task. So if I show you, I will just open a particular story. If I open a story, suppose I am working on this particular story, okay, then I can go here and I can log work. So see, these are not common for all the project, right? So it depends on what version of Jira in your project is getting used, what are the different customization they have done. So depending on that, these things will appear in front of you, right? So there is no definite thing that if you will click here, then only you will get the log work. No. So this is customized in our project. In your project, it can be customized in different way, and you don't need to worry. Like whenever you are onboarded to a project, these things will be given to you, and all these things, there will be someone will give you all this demo how to use this thing. So for us, we need to go here. We can suppose I have spent 12 hours working on this particular story. So I can go here, I can log my work. Time spent is 12 hours. When I started working on that, suppose I started working on this particular thing on 3rd July. Okay. And then I can give my work description, whatever I have done, I can save it. So that means this work will be logged here. So that means I have spent 12 hours on this particular task. So if you go here and see all, so see, I have spent kind of 6 hours, I guess, here. So I have logged 6 hours here. Right? And then I moved it to done. So that means this story is completed from my side. So that is what is being told here, that we can actually track everything through this particular Jira. Then the requirement management also can be done, the process monitoring, the workflow management, all these things can be done using Jira. Okay.
Mhm.
So this I have already shown you. This is just the screenshot of the page. This is, I think, the screenshot is a bit older. If you will open today, you will see something like this, what I just shown you. So if you are working in the agile methodology, 99% of the teams are going to use this particular tool, Jira.
Mhm.
So this is how it would look like. Okay, let's take a small break then, because I think we have already covered most of the things. Uh, it's just how to create those different things that I'll show you. And finally, the burn down chart and how those things are calculated, that I will show you.
And from an
Let's take a.
interview perspective, what will be a question on Jira?
So from interview, they are not going to ask you anything. They might ask you whether if you have the basic knowledge of Jira, whether you know how Jira is used or not. That is the first thing they are going to ask you. They might ask you that what are the different fields of a bug? When you are creating a bug, what are the different information that you need to provide? So that, I think I also told you when we were discussing about the bug life cycle and all. What are the different
Mhm.
fields we need to provide when we are raising a bug, when we are creating a new bug, right? So these are the things that specific to Jira. They are not going to ask you anything. They might
Oh,
just ask you that what defect management tool you know. So then you can say that I know we can use Jira as the project management tool or as the defect management tool,
mhm.
right? But specific to Jira, they don't have anything to ask. They might ask you what is a burn down chart, or how do you do the estimation in your project, right? So
Mhm.
these are the things they might ask you, and then you can say that okay, we provide the story points. The story points are given from the Fibonacci series number. So based on the complexity of the project, we provide the story points, and the story points differ from 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 8. So these are the story points that we provide.
Mhm.
So nothing more than that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Let's take a small break, and
Yeah.
then we'll cover the rest of the things. Okay. So we are going to continue with the slide. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is nothing specific from this particular slide. Okay. So now it is showing the different options that we get in the Jira dashboard. So better I will show it to you from here. So this is generally the dashboard, what you see. So here, if you come under the projects, you'll see different projects. Okay. So if you are, assigned to only one project, you'll see one project. If you are assigned to multiple projects, then you'll see all your multiple projects here. Then the stories or tasks that you are assigned to. So if you go your work, under that you will see all the stories and tasks that you are assigned to. Then you can perform some filter or some this kind of dashboard if you have access to. So this also depend on what kind of access you have in your project, right? So it might happen that when you click on this create, you might not get all the different options. So based on your role, you will get that particular access of what are the different things you can create as well. And then if you are assigned to multiple projects, then you'll have the access to different projects. And from here, from this create option, you can create the test cases or bugs and all those user stories or tasks and all those things. So this is the thing which is shown here. Then there
Is
is
users
assigned.
is user story the same as a request from the user?
No. That is different thing. User stories are basically from the epic. This is divided into different stories. So that is called user story. So basically, it will tell you what are the different things that you are going to develop under that.
Oh.
When I say develop, that will also include the testing of that particular development.
Okay.
Okay, so develop means development and testing both will actually complete that particular development work. Okay.
Okay.
So on the front page or on the home page, you'll see an interaction here. Then you will get to see what are the different things which are assigned to you and what are the activity that is going on. Right. So if I go here. So this is kind of, this is also customized. Okay. So in our case, we showed this kind of homepage, right? But again, in case of your team, your project, it will depend what are the things they are showing on the homepage. Okay, so if you have the access of creating a new project, okay, most probably you are not going to have the access of creating a new project when you join your team, because the projects are normally created either by the project manager or by the delivery manager or by the product owner. So you might not have the access of creating a project, but if you are the admin or if you have that access, then you can create the project from by going to projects. You will have the option of creating a project. From there you can create a project. Okay. Then what are the different issue types? So there are different type of issue type. First is subtask. So the task, so you have the task, then the task can be divided into subtasks. Then bug, a deviation from expected behavior, that will be a bug. Epic, bigger requirements broken down. So when you have the bigger requirements, something like a whole feature, so that for that an epic will be created. And under that particular epic, you will have different kind of user stories. Under those user stories, you will have different like task and subtask and all. Then you can have new feature, improvement, story, task. You can actually have different other issue types as well. So again, that is customizable, and based on your project, based on the management decisions, these issue types will be created. Okay. Finally, if I in the overview, you can see all the different stories are created. I can also show you something like what is backlog. So in the backlog, see all the user stories which are created, all those are there. Okay. Now, when you are working on a particular sprint, the stories that you are going to work on a particular sprint, so that will be, brought to the current sprint. So this is the current sprint, and the stories that we are working on this particular sprint. So these are, fetched from the backlog to current sprint. So in the next sprints, either we are going to work on this particular stories which are created under the backlog, or we are going to create a new story as well. Okay, so if you go here, you see you can create different type of issue. It can be story, it can be bug, it can be test case, it can be task. Okay, so all those things we can create. See, we have all those different options as well: test plan, test set, test execution, precondition. So all these are coming under the issue type. But if you see here, all these are not mentioned here because this is customizable. You can have different type of issues, and this will be created as per the requirement in your project. Okay. And another thing I'll show you, that if you see the backlog, there are different things also. So these are the stories, these are the tasks. So whenever you will have this particular icon, that means it is a task. Okay, then this particular icon, that means it is a story. Can you see it? Story is written. So this is task, this is story, this is bug. Okay, so these are the different type of issues that are present here. Okay, and this is the dashboard. So in your case, like, you'll have all the things which are assigned to you, all the different projects that you are assigned to. So all those things you'll get here. And then the in progress items, if someone is commenting something, someone is creating something. So all those updates you'll get under the activity streams in your dashboard. Then finally, the burn down chart is there. So before I come to the burn down chart, let's try here. Let's see if it allows us to create a get a user out of this one. This one you can actually try because this is my company's laptop. So I'm not sure whether I'll be, able to log in using my mail ID or not. Let's try. Um, So if you want to do some hands-on, I don't think the hands-on of Jira is not that much required because it's a tool. It's going to be, everything is going to be same, and they're not going to ask you anything. Uh, just a minute, I'll just allow it. Okay, so they're not going to ask you specific to Jira something. They will ask you what are the details you will provide while you are creating a particular bug, or they might ask you that, do you know Jira? How do you use Jira? Or they might ask you what are the different fields that you are going to provide while you are creating a test case. Okay, Then they might ask you what is the story points, or what is a sprint. So what are the different things that happen in a sprint? So all these things they're going to ask you, but specific to Jira tool, they won't ask you anything.
Okay.
So if you just have the basic level of idea how to create the project or how to create the bug, what is the difference between a story and a task, what is the difference between an epic and a story and a task, that's enough. Okay.
Okay. I thought Jira is so important that it occupies a big part of the interview.
No. It's not, not that important. Rather, it's as like it is customizable. So every project or every organization customizes it according to their need. So once you are there in a project, then only you will be understand what is being used there. What are the different features that is being used there. So some team might not even have the test cases in Jira. They might use some other tool to have their test cases and all, and then they might be just tracking the user stories and the bugs from Jira. So that might also happen. Okay. So once you log in using your mail ID, it will ask you to give your site. So I'll just give it as my test project. Say my test project. So this site is already taken, so you can't take it. So let's try with some number. Yeah, so this is available. So this is actually whatever you are providing here, that should not be taken by someone else. Okay, otherwise, so again, like this settings and all, this will be done in your organization level. You don't need to do all these things. Just for if you want to do some kind of hands-on, in that case you can do. So suppose I am giving now my test project 1992. So the same thing you won't be able to use while you are doing the hands-on.
Right.
So maybe you need to give some other number here or try with some random number. Okay.
Okay.
I'll click on agree. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it for software development. Okay. What's my role? Say I am a QA engineer. Okay. What are your main tasks? So maybe I want to documentation, testing and quality assurance, productivity tracking, and project planning, improving workflow, providing support and help desk. All these things I'm going to do. Again, like this hands-on is not that much required. Okay, you can do if you get time, you can do, but this is not as required like other hands-on thing. Okay, so I'm going to use Scrum. So see, this is the dashboard which is coming here, right? So you can go here and as like I'm the admin, so I can create the project. It has already created a sample project for me. So that is my Scrum project. Okay. And under here, see, we have the board as well. Now see, these are the fields that are given to us as by default to do in progress and done. But say you want to create something called
QA testing.
in QA. Okay,
Mm.
that means it is in testing phase, right? You can create,
Mm.
and then obviously it will come before done.
Yeah.
So see, once it is created, it will come to do. So this is the workflow. Then it will come to in progress. Then it will come to done, and before that will be in queue, right? So here you are setting the workflow, and now if I update the workflow, I save it. It is showing workflow updated. I close it, and now if I go back to my board, no, it is still not updated. I'm not. I need to actually see how these things are managed, because I have not managed all these things as well. These are done by the higher management. And configure board, I guess. I configured the board into yes. Now it is done. If I save the changes, so now if I go to the board, it will look like this, right? And now if I create, say, a story, I can create the story. So I can give the summary that we need to suppose. So the first thing is we should create an AP, right? So say the summary is developing an e-commerce website. So that is the story. That is the epic, right? So this epic is created. You can provide the description and all these things. Okay. Now, under this particular epic, you can create a child issue. So all the user stories will be added a child, right? So suppose the first story would be creating the login page. Okay. Created. Then the next story would be, suppose, creating the search mechanism, right? Create. Then the next story would be, say, what? Creating the uh, product details page. Okay. And then when you have different users, you can assign this to different users as well, right? To the development members, to the testing members. Suppose, let me go to this particular user story. So this is the user story that we have created. Under that, we can create tasks as well. So say developing the UI. Okay. So this has created a subtask. I can go there and okay. So here what is done, see, these are the different customization. Here under a story, if you create a child issue, it will be directly created as subtask. Okay, but you can change the configuration, and you can do that under a story. That's child will be task, and under a task, the subtask will be created. So all these different configurations and all you can do. Now, if I go to backlog, you see all these things what we are creating. All these are coming as the backlog items. So now what we can do, we can create a sprint one. Okay, we can add date. So maybe this is the sprint one. The duration would be 2 weeks of this sprint. Okay. Now the start date is today. So the end date will be 20th, and the sprint goal will be to complete the say login page and search mechanism. Okay. It's an update, and now I will bring this particular story to this sprint and search mechanism to this sprint. Okay. Now if I go to the board, um, I need to start the sprint first. Okay. Now, the moment I start the sprint, if you go to the board, see, now these two are coming as to-do issues. Okay. Now, if I open it, we can provide the story point here as well. Now, what are the different fields that you will have here so that you can customize again? So according to your project requirement, your organization requirement, you can add more and more fields here. So if I open in our case, see how many fields are there. There are a lot of fields. If I open this particular thing, so see how many fields are there. There are so many fields here. Right? So all these things are customizable. You can add all these things. Okay. So just for the hands-on, you can actually create a free account for yourself. Okay. And then you can see the look and feel how these things can be done. Okay. Then you can go to create, and you can, create a bug as well from here. So when you create a bug, all these different things, summary, description, assignee, you can select some sprint, give some sprint, the story point, then attachment, linked issues. So see, the step to reproduce, all those details are not given here. So what we can do is we can go to the project and then customize all these things. Okay. So these things are normally done by the project manager, as I already told you. So you can customize your board, you can customize all these things. So all these things can be done from the project settings. Also, you will get all those different options and all. Okay. So you can just create a free account and just go here and there and explore what are the different things which are available here. Okay. So the final thing is burn down chart. So burn down chart is comes as a metric. So what kind of metric is this? So suppose in a particular sprint, all the team members will take different stories, right? And all those stories will have different story points as well, right? We can assign the story points here. If I open this, if I go here, the story point estimate, suppose it will have 5 story points. Okay. And if I open this, it can have say 3 story points. Okay. So there is a term which is called as velocity. So what is velocity? Velocity is total number of story points that your team can take in a particular sprint. So suppose there are 10 members and all those 10 members can take up to say 30, 35 or 40 story points in a particular sprint. So that is the velocity. So here it is shown as 90 in this particular graph. So now on the first day, you will have 90 story point. But as the sprint moves forward, you will be, completing some of the story.
Mhm.
Right? After say 3 days, the team might have closed 2 to 3 story points.
Mhm.
Then after say 1 week, they might have closed 5 or 6 story points,
Yeah.
or 5 or 6 stories. And
Mhm.
after, at the end of the sprint, theoretically or identically, ideally, all the stories should have been completed, but practically, it has been seen that all the stories are not completed. Some of the stories get spilled over to next sprint. Okay.
Mhm.
So this burn down chart will actually show you how the sprint has moved forward, and at the end of the sprint, is all the stories are completed, or if there are some stories which are not completed. So if all the stories are not completed, then it won't come down to zero, right? It
Mhm.
will have some story points left. Are you getting that?
Yes. Yes.
So if some stories are not completed, so that means some story points will be left. If all the stories are completed, so all the story points will be completed, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yes.
based on that, this burn down chart is prepared, and this is prepared by the Jira itself. If go to the reports and all, so there will be able to see it. I don't have
Mhm.
reports created here, so I need to go to the settings and all. There I can
Right.
create. I can show from my project. If I go to this report part, here I'll see burn down chart.
Mhm.
Right. So if I show you the burn down chart, I go here. So it's showing me how the burn down chart is looking like in my current sprint. If I go to
Mhm.
the last sprint, say Q2, this is one of the previous sprint. So this is how the burn down chart was looking like. Till say the sprint started on June 1, right? 1st June.
Mhm.
Till
Mhm.
June 9th, no story was completed. So that's why it didn't come down. Then
Mhm.
on June 9th, some story was completed. On June 13th, some more stories were completed. On June 14th, this much story was completed. Okay.
Okay.
So see, actually we had 25 story points, but at the end of the sprint, we had 10 story points left.
Mhm.
Okay? So those story points, those stories were not completed, and those were moved to the next sprint. So see, you
Mhm.
can see all these things, all these
Mhm.
reports are coming here. Which
Mhm.
was completed, which was not completed. If I go to this sprint report, from here you will see what are the completed tasks, what are the not completed tasks. So these were the
Mhm.
tasks which are not completed on that particular
Mhm.
sprint. So all these reports actually automatically will get generated in Jira, and in this way you can track how your overall project is moving, what are the issues you are facing, what is blocking, and how individual teams are performing, how individual team members are performing.
Mhm.
All these things you can actually track. So that's what I had from Jira today. I would
Mhm.
recommend you, if you want, you can create a free, trial account, and then you can
Mhm.
do some kind of hands-on in Jira. And then if you
Okay.
have any query, by going through today's session, you can ask me.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else
Uh-huh.
do you have?
No.
Okay, then we can wrap up today's session. Thanks
Uh-huh.
for joining. Bye. Have a good
You're welcome.
night
Thank you.
and
Okay.
good day tomorrow.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's meet tomorrow. Bye.
Uh-huh.